By now, just about every college football fan in the country has heard Nick Saban stick his foot in his mouth and accuse Deion Sanders and Jimbo Fisher of buying players. In the midst of that, he also accused Travis Hunter, a freshman at Jackson State University, of basically accepting a payoff to play for an HBCU school. He hid behind the guise of saying, "You can read about it in the paper," as if it wasn't his accusation. But he actually said it. He made a direct statement.
Jackson State paid a guy $1 million last year.
There's no getting around it. Nick Saban slandered and defamed Deion Sanders, Jimbo Fisher, Travis Hunter, Jackson State University, and Texas A&M University. After he vomited out his accusations, Saban quickly walked back his statements, likely after seeing the press pounce on him and probably after getting a call from his attorney. But it's too late. If you rob a bank, then apologize for robbing the bank, and even if you give back the money to the bank, you still robbed the bank. But if everyone is just going to let boys be boys and just move on and chalk this up to an Aflac marketing stunt, that's fine. But if the NCAA had any balls whatsoever, they'd open up a full-scale investigation into all three programs and let the chips fall where they may. But we all know that ain't ever going to happen. The NCAA and the schools and the coaches don't want any part of something like what the NFL is going to have to deal with in a John Gruden-esque lawsuit. By the way, that's going to be a juicy lawsuit to follow for sure. But surely there must be a hungry litigator in Jackson, Mississippi, who'd be willing to take a shot with a lawsuit on behalf of the other accused in this incident. If people think that Travis Hunter took $1 million to go to Jackson State in some sort of funky NIL deal, where do you think most of the people heard about that? How do you think they got that idea? If you really thought that Travis Hunter took $1 million and got rich to go to play at JSU, just imagine what he may pocket by suing Nick Saban and the University of Alabama for defamation of character. Think about it. Nick Saban smeared that kid publicly. While it might not hurt his chances of going to the NFL if he ends up being the player everyone purports him to be, you have to wonder how being defamed by Nick Saban like that might hurt him with future NIL deals. Was that Saban's intention? Make the kid kind of undesirable to big brands? Kind of make sure that other kids didn't step out of line and go to an HBCU? There's a reason why Nick Saban made those comments. Everyone's talking about how it's to grab money from boosters. Nick Saban has no problem getting money from boosters. I'm thinking he tried to scare big recruits away from going to HBCUs and other small schools. Travis Hunter is entering his freshman campaign. He has years of earning potential off the field. We're talking millions, potentially tens of millions of dollars in opportunity for him to realize. If he does end up being the real deal, as everyone says he is, did Nick Saban just tarnish Travis Hunter's future earnings? Between actual damages and potential compensatory damages, this kind of lawsuit could be massive. I mean, massive. Is there any attorney out there that wants to represent Travis Hunter in a lawsuit against Nick Saban and the University of Alabama? I'm pretty sure there is. But you have to wonder if anyone is letting Travis know this. Are they looking out for his best interest? Like I said, there's zero chance the NCAA wants this kind of publicity going into the season. I bet Aflac wouldn't want their big-time college football spokespeople wrapped up in this kind of lawsuit either. You're probably reading this and thinking, I'm out of my friggin' mind. You're probably thinking that there's no way that Travis Hunter would ever sue Nick Saban and the University of Alabama. But I'm willing to push my chips in and say if you're thinking that way, then most likely a year ago you probably also thought that there was no way that the #1 recruit in the nation would ever sign with an HBCU like Jackson State University. Travis Hunter, as the #1 recruit in the nation, already shocked the college football world once by signing with an HBCU like Jackson State. But I'd love to know what you think. Should Travis Hunter again shock the college football world by going ahead and suing Nick Saban and the University of Alabama? And if you don't know what this is all about, check out this video here that I made a couple days ago explaining what Nick Saban said and how he basically defamed Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders, and Jimbo Fisher. Like I said, if the NCAA had any balls whatsoever, they'd launch a full-scale investigation, but they won't. So maybe we're just going to have to wait for Travis Hunter to sue Nick and Alabama. Roll Tide.